Hi friends, I hope you all are doing well. Today I'm going to be doing my book haul for the last quarter of 2017. I understand that this is quite long overdue, but I just honestly don't really care to do book hauls anymore. I find them to be repetitive and redundant and exhausting to do, so I stopped doing them. The reason why I'm doing this today is because filler content. Anyways, I have 14 books to show you. 9 of them I already read and 5 of them I haven't read as yet, so I will be talking about the ones that I've read first. Starting off with Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay, which is an essay collection about feminism, pop culture, politics. You all know the tea. I've talked about this book a million times since I started my channel. My original copy of it now looks like a calloused foot because I lent it out approximately 604 million times. So I decided to buy the limited edition so that I could revisit it, make my personal annotations, all of that, and I'll continue to lend out the one that looks like Donald Trump's face. Then I have In the Country We Love by Diane Guerrero. This one is a memoir of Guerrero's life growing up both before and after her parents got deported to Colombia when she was 14 years old. I absolutely love this book. I listened to it on audio last year and it made me cry, so I needed a physical copy so that I could, do the same. Go back, make my own annotations, put tabs and shit. Yeah, if you haven't read this one as yet, please do. Then I have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which I think most of y'all know about this book already. YA contemporary. Asa, she has anxiety and OCD. She tries to solve the mystery of a missing billionaire. I wasn't like deep in love with this book, but I did like the writing and I absolutely adored the anxiety representation in here, and that is a reason alone to recommend this book to everybody. So definitely give this one a try if you haven't already. Then we have The Lines We Cross by Randa Abdel Fattah, which I named my favorite book of 2017 because it's just that good. It is set in Australia and we're following Michael and Mina. Michael is from a very conservative, right-winged family. Mina came over to Australia as a Afghani refugee. So the two of them meet, their ideals clash, and they learn from each other throughout the entire story, and it's just wonderful. And I love it. Next we have Love, Hate and Other Filters by Samira Ahmed. This is about an Indian-American Muslim girl called Maya Aziz. She's going through the motions of life, having family issues, romance issues, but within the midst of everything, a terrorist attack happens somewhere in the States, and the primary suspect shares a last name with Maya, and because of this her family goes through a whirlwind of Islamophobia. And it was just such a wonderful book that dealt with some very necessary topics that I was so happy to see reflected in young adult literature. I forgot to say that this is an ARC copy. I received this in December and I read it in December, but the book came out officially in January. I did get a final copy right here, but it's not going to be hauled in this video, obviously. Next up we have That Thing We Call a Heart by Sheba Karim, which is about a Pakistani-American girl called Shabnam. She's struggling connecting to her cultural heritage and her identity as an American, and that's what this book is basically about. And it was objectively not the best book ever. Like, I felt like it should have been like at least 100 pages longer for the kind of story that it was trying to be, but it was still really good and very insightful, and I still do highly recommend it because nobody really talks about this book and I think it deserves a bit more attention. Then we have Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, which is a book about a girl called Madeline who has primary immunodeficiency. She has lived her life very quarantined. She has never left her house and she doesn't really care about that until a cute boy moves next door and her world just spirals out of control. I didn't like it. It was trash. Don't read this book. I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erika L. Sanchez. I've talked about this one a million times already on my channel. I read it last month and it was amazing. I know I sound like a broken record by now, but it's about a girl called Julia whose older sister Olga died, and she's discovering things about her sister that she never knew before. It's a wonderful story about grief, family, friendship, and finding yourself in the absence of a loved one. It's amazing. Then we have A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki, which is my favorite book of all time. I read this back in 2016 and I wanted to get my own copy of it, which is what I did at the end of 2017. It's about a woman who finds a diary, and we're reading the story of the woman who's reading the diary, and we're also reading the diary along with her. And it's amazing. Go read it. Now we're getting into the books that I have not as yet read, starting off with When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McClemmer. McClemmer is very reputable for her work in the YA magical realism genre, which is what this book is. It interested me quite a lot because we're following a boy called Sam, who I believe is Pakistani American, and he's also transgendered, and he paints moons and hangs them in the sky. And then we have Miel, who is Hispanic, by the way, and she grows flowers out of her hands. So she's like, hey bitch, look a flower. I definitely think I will like this book because I've been wanting to get into more magical realism, and I heard that Anna Marie McClemmer's writing is gorgeous. So then we have If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. This is a Own Voices transfiction novel about a girl called Amanda. I don't know too much about the plot other than we're following Amanda as she transfers to a new high school and decides not to disclose her trans identity. So it's about how she deals with that particular situation. I heard it's really good, so I'm looking forward to it. Then we have Daring to Drive by Manal Al-Sharif, the young woman who stood up to a kingdom of tired-ass men. I added that part and it was just men, but you know, same difference. Manal is known across the globe for being quite instrumental in advocating for women's right to drive in Saudi Arabia. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I believe it will just be a mixture of personal and political, which I'm here for. Then we have Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, which is a novelization of a true story. It is based on Agnes Magnusdottir, who I think is the woman that was the last person to have been sentenced to death in Iceland. So this is like a fictional reimagining of that point in her life, and I definitely look forward to reading this because I've heard that the writing is amazing and the story is quite compelling. So the final book I have to talk about I acquired in quite an interesting way. I take French on the side of my university, and I actually won the award for level 1 French, which is like just beginner's French, not really that much of a big deal, but it was sponsored by the High Commission of Canada, which sounds very fancy. I don't know what that means, but it sounds fancy. When I went on stage to receive my prize, I got this very huge, heavy, like wrapped up thing. So I was like, oh my god, is this like a Canadian citizenship package or something? Because you know, I am all about that free healthcare, like, you know, cholesterol runs in my family. So I was just unwrapping this, you know, practicing my politeness for when I become a Canadian citizen. But it turned out to be a book, and that book is Grand Landscapes of Canada, or Les Grands Paysages du Canada. You would think I won the award for French so I would know how to pronounce this shit. It's basically like pictures of like nature and rocks and like trees and shit in Canada, and like the descriptions are in French and English. I went to Canada twice. Nowhere looks like this that I've went to. So I mean, I've been to Winnipeg and Toronto. That's like and Ottawa. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever read that. Maybe if I need to like describe like the sun shining on a mountain. But anyways, that's going to be it for my last quarterly book haul of 2017. If you have any thoughts on any of the books that I've mentioned, obviously leave them in the comments down below. That's what this is all about. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and until next time, inshallah, keep reading.